Welcome to the channel, folks. My name's Shane. In today's episode of Keys to the Guitar Shop, I'll be sharing bass and guitar duties with Dr. Rick. We'll be switching out doing this power trio session at Sky Music here in Melbourne, Australia, featuring Richo on the drums, who's a fantastic drummer. Firstly, a massive thank you to Sky Music for letting us do this particular series of videos at their shop. It's a whole lot of fun for us to test stuff in context of a live mix, and hopefully this will be helpful for you. If you want to find out about Sky Music, links to them will be below. As always, everything showcased in this video will have direct links through to Sweetwater and Thomann. Those links help support the channel at no extra cost to you. I thought what we do is kick things off with something a little bit different. We're going to jump straight into the Epiphone Prophecy Explorer in Yellow Tiger. Now, Yellow Tiger is the finish, and I think this looks great in the matte finish that they've made on these particular instruments. And given their price point, they look like a far more expensive guitar. And that's what Rick thought about playing these. He's used to playing Gibson custom shop guitars and all that kind of stuff at the store, and he owns a few, and he said this just felt great in the hand. And given these are aimed at probably higher gain players than they are classic rock or blues players, so we played something a little bit different for this particular clip. Rick was rocking out. I'll talk a little bit more about the benefits of the pickups that are in here just after you hear this sample. Here we go. So there you have it, that's Dr. Rick rocking out on the Epiphone Prophecy Explorer or Explorer-shaped electric guitar. And that amplifier he was plugged into the EVH 2x12 is awesome. If you can lift it, you deserve to buy it. It's a bit like Thor's hammer, you know. If you can actually get off the ground, you're worthy of it. It is so heavy. It took two of us to get it out of the amp room into the showroom. It's an absolute backbreaker, but it sounds great. And he was just going straight in with no other effects, possibly some delay, but that was about it. One of the upgrades that this guitar has over a lot of other Epiphones is the Fishman Fluence pickups. And you'll either like these or you won't, or these particular combinations, but you get 3 different tones in each pickup. So the first tone you can get out of these pickups is the warm PAF style humbucker tone, that classic humbucker tone that we all know and love if you like Gibson and Epiphone. The second tone is a modern humbucker tone, which will appeal to people playing with far higher gain. And it also has something called optimized single coil sound, which is basically some sort of fancy coil splitting or coil tapping option as well. Now, we didn't showcase that in this video, but that's there if you so choose to use it. Keeping instead with the higher gain tones, I thought I'd try my hand at the Tony Iommi SG from Epiphone. This is his custom signature model. Now, there's a few cosmetic differences between this and the standard, but the biggest difference is you get the USA Tony Iommi pickups in this particular Epiphone. So the pickups have been upgraded over that of the older standards. Now, this particular electric guitar has been discontinued, so it was only done in a limited run. And if you can find one of these, definitely give it a go. Now, I should preface this by saying I tried to play something completely different in this clip to the usual blue stuff, so I hope you like it. I tried my best to embrace my metal man, or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, this guitar, it played so great. And once I got past the visual aesthetic of the crucifix things on the fretboard, I know that's his thing, but it's not really my kind of thing. I really love playing this, and I really think the tones speak for themselves. Let's take a listen. So there you have it. That's the Epiphone Tony Iommi SG. I really feel like this is a great guitar. If you can still find one of these new and you love the visual of this, I can highly recommend it. In terms of playability, I had no issues bending or playing as fast as I'm able to play on it. It just really played great. And I didn't notice any issues when it came to the frets or the tuning stability. Everything worked as expected. Now, these pickups are a point of separation between that and the regular SG, but the regular SG still sound really good, and we'll talk more about them in just a bit. Up next, we're throwing it back to Dr. Rick. He's going to play the Epiphone Les Paul Special in TV Yellow. Now, if you're new to the channel, you might not know, I actually own a Gibson Les Paul Special in TV Yellow, and it's one of my favorite guitars. Seeing this Epiphone in person really put into perspective just how great of an instrument this is. I firmly believe that this is one of the best Epiphones that are currently getting made and that has ever been made by Epiphone. It's beautiful and it compares very favorably to the Gibson, loaded with exactly the same type of pickups. Aesthetically, these P90 style pickups. Let's take a listen. Dr. Rick was totally getting into that, as you could see. And one of the best things about this guitar is it's so accurate to that of the Gibson. It has the nice big fat 50s neck, so if you're a fan of the fatter necks, you'll definitely get a kick out of this. And having those P90 pickups is a great point of difference to regular humbuckers, which is why it was on my list of the best 6 Epiphone guitars. I'll link that up here if you missed that video, but I love this thing. If it was available in a lefty at the time of shooting this, I would have either bought one or at least tested it out or done an A/B between mine. That'll be coming up on the channel at some point, so stay tuned for that. But this guitar sings. If you're looking for something a bit different, definitely give this one a look. Up next, I thought I'd give the Bassbreaker 007 a thrashing yet again with another Epiphone guitar, and this time it was the Epiphone SG Standard. Now, I love this. This is loaded with 2 ProBucker Epiphone pickups, which are some of the best pickups Epiphone have made in years in terms of their sort of PAF style electric guitar pickups. If you're a fan of the Gibson pickups, these aren't too far behind. There's always inherent differences between Epiphone and Gibson pickups, and they've designed them like that. You can hear a difference between them, but I still stand by the fact these are some of the best that I've used. Now, I had this poor little Bassbreaker amp cranked within about an inch of its life, so it was all the way up, and I was using a couple of my pedals to push it even more. I was using my jam pedals, Wachiko or Oaxaco, or however the hell you say it, wah pedal, on the floor as my main wah, and I also had a boost pedal going into the front, which was the Nordvang Gravity using the Klon side. And man, this thing just cooked. It sounded great with the wah, but there's also sections without it. And you can just hear how great these pickups sound without any effects. So let's take a listen. A few bad notes. As you could hopefully see, I was really getting into playing this Epiphone SG Standard. It sounded great with the wah, and it also sounded great without it. When I was playing that riff towards the end, It sounded big and mighty, and that poor little Bassbreaker amp, man, I tell you what, I'm glad it survived because I was pushing it pretty hard. But overall, these are really great guitars. If you're interested in checking these out, links to them will also be below. One of the great things about Sky Music here in Melbourne, Australia is they carry so many different Epiphone guitars, and one of which we've never showcased on the channel until right now. This is the Epiphone Uptown Cat ES in Ruby Red Metallic. And this is kind of inspired by, I guess, the rockabilly or chicken picking kind of players. And if you're into that Americana kind of music, you're going to get a kick out of what this can do. While there were no left-handed guitars, Dr. Rick absolutely did this justice, and I hope you like our attempt at playing some hillbilly style grooves. So I learned how to play this on bass a few minutes before doing this, so it was my first attempt. Richo, you did great on drums. Rick, you killed it. I was definitely the weakest link in this particular section. Dave on bass, where were you, man? We needed you. Anyway, one of the things that makes this guitar unique is the Epiphone ProBucker FB720 mini humbuckers. Now, these are mini humbuckers, they're not Firebird pickups, which are technically different. If you ask anyone in the YouTube comment section, they're vastly different pickups. So I just wanted to clarify that these are the FB720 mini humbuckers. Take it away, Dr. Rick. So I took away a couple of different things from this particular clip, watching it back for the first time in a while. That Rick made this guitar sound very authentic going through the exact same amplifier, and that it sounded vastly different to every other guitar in this particular video. So I hope you like this. If you're looking for something very different, this sounded great. And unlike the Epiphone Casinos, which was squealing and doing all kinds of weird things last time we played them in the context of a live mix, this had none of those inherent problems. So I would say this is far more usable at louder volumes. And we were loud in that room. I was playing a fridge bass amplifier in that clip, if you didn't notice. And Rick was playing through a 2x12 combo at gig volume. And there were no issues with squeal or whatever. Now, Rick had no complaints in terms of playability with this one either. He just got on it without even, I think he just tuned it up and he was ready to go. And that's all we do in these videos. We take them off the shelf and we're good to go. So again, no problems with this one. If you're looking for something different, this Epiphone Uptown Cat ES is definitely something different, and it will give you a vastly different sound thanks to those pickups over everything else you've heard in this particular video. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. My name's Shane. A massive thanks to Dr. Rick and Richo for being a part of this Keys to the Guitar Shop series. Unfortunately, Rick couldn't be here because Melbourne, our great city here in Australia, is in lockdown again, which totally sucks, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, he was unable to be here, but I've relayed some of his thoughts about hearing what he said on the night. We usually let the cameras roll and I can see all the behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, he had no problems with any of these guitars, and the stuff that I played, I really enjoyed as well. So a huge thanks to Sky Music for letting us do this at their store. Again, this video is not sponsored, so if you did get a kick out of it, please give it a thumbs up. A massive thanks to all the Patreon crew who help support the channel. I really appreciate you guys. If you want to find out more about that, I'll leave links to that on screen. There'll be a part 2 coming up, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again for watching. Catch you soon. See ya.